The 7th, head of Harewood, Strick, and Jack Carpenter's another one to watch in this race. Beyond that, we have Joel Johnson, we've got Sala, Jenner, Kutsina, Harvey, Simpson, Sidwell Campbell, and Flanagan. And as she has all day long for all of the Hyundai Excel races, Lisa Tortani joins me in the box.
Great to be here, Dan. Final race as we see the cars lining up on the start grid. They'll get the 5-second board and we'll see the red lights at the top of the gantry there flash and then flash off.
Absolutely, we will. So we are just moments away from the start of this one. We can see the final couple of cars coming to a halt on the right-hand side of the shot. So we are not too far away at all. Look at the surroundings of the Winton Motor Raceway circuit, the hills in the background, but let's focus on the gantry. Lights are on and they are off. A quick sequence there. Good start from Phillips, but a bit bogged down. Bit of a slow change into second gear, and that's brought James back alongside. And James is going to brake later and take that first position back. But yeah, it looked to me like Phillips made that initial launch, but the gear change into second was not a sweet one. And they change back. Oh, a bit of a lock-up for the number 6 of Burton up the inside of Sala. And they managed to get away with that. Oh, Carpenter out sideways on the exit there. He's trying to make up progress early on in this race. He's had good speed this weekend, but has been really struggling to overtake in the midway stages of the race and not been able to make the progress after a DNF in race number 1 of the weekend. So head into turn number 7. It's been an action spot all weekend long in all of the different categories, from the Australian Drivers' Championship to what we saw in that very last race in the Australian Super Trucks as well. There's been several incidents down there. The 2-litre sports sedans round came to a bit of a nail-biting decider and a collision down there which altered the outcome of the round results. So seen plenty of action down there, and up the inside comes Tabitha Ambrose. Lovely move from quite far back, but really got that nicely stopped on the apex of the corner and takes the position from Burton. Burton now coming under threat from the 333 of Campbell, who's going to try and go around the outside. I thought we might see a cut back to the inside, but no, going to go the long way. He'll be around the outside again at this last corner. Has to settle back in behind, and Carpenter shows the nose in there as well, and that's affected his run out the corner. Allowed the grey machine to take that position from him down towards turn number 1. That is, of course, Harewood. And Harrison Sala might come up the inside as well, the younger brother of William Sala, but not quite. Crikey, Lisa, I've got to catch my breath. Frantic first lap.
Frantic but clean. They're all just trying to find their spaces. We see the 95 Harewood picking up the inside of car number 6. He'll try hold it there, or a bit of a rear slide as he comes under pressure. But all clean so far, just finding their space in the train.
Absolutely, and it is a big train at the moment, isn't it? Towards the midway in the top 10 from 6th down, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way down to, I think, 12th position. Jenner at the tail of that pack. They are all nose to tail, half a dozen cars, and that's what we have come to expect and love in Excels.
Certainly right. It's been some really good racing this weekend. Mostly clean. We had a few incidents, obviously the one between Carpenter and Ambrose earlier in the weekend, but Ambrose and Carpenter have both been able to recover fairly well from that, and it's great to see a lot of young talent, a few interstaters as well in this from the ACT and New South Wales come and race with the Victorians.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to see that, and you do see it quite often, don't you? Victorians will travel up to Queensland, and the New South Wales drivers will travel to South Australia. They always do move around and drive in the different states just to try and learn these tracks that they're going to be using throughout their career in motorsport, because that's what Excel Trophy is about these days. These are the future stars of the sport that are hoping to move on and go places. We've seen a lot of names come through this series. That was quite tight down there into turn number 1. But yeah, there's been a lot of drivers that have come through the series already in the last couple of years, Lisa.
Absolutely, we've seen the Feenies and the J Rowbothams, who's from this region of Victoria as well as such, come through the category and look what they're doing now. So it's a great stepping stone for anyone of any age to find their feet and get involved in the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a couple, or in fact many, most of the Toyota 86 Scholarship Series drivers are Excel graduates. It's quite funny to see. And they'll be moving on in the next stage of their career as well, moving forwards from there, I am sure. But we're looking at the moment, the fight between Burton and Harewood. These two have been in the top 10 all weekend long. It's been a solid weekend from both of them. Burton was a little bit higher earlier in the weekend, in around 4th, potentially even 3rd, I think, at one stage, but been shuffled back in the last couple of races. Currently 7th in car 6, under pressure from the 95 of Harewood. So head towards the final couple of corners. Out front, Brad James at the end of lap 2 had a 1.1 second lead. I think that might be further extended on this lap as they come across the line in front of us. It's 1.5 seconds now. So just half a second a lap, chipping away. A methodical and mature drive from the leader.
Yeah, very well by Brad James. Once we saw the earlier race 2 yesterday, once he got past Phillips, there's been no response from him being able to catch him, and even seeing the likes of, oh, that was a close one there up against drivers left on the wall. We saw that earlier in the Masters race actually with Venia getting 2 wheels off and skating across the concrete.
Yeah, absolutely. Right there, it's caught out a few people this weekend. Of course, we saw the accident for the number 82 BMW, the Sewell, Liddell and Wilson car, the Class A car in the Pitcher Partners Winton 300. Hit the wall there in the top 10 shootout, and they'll be starting towards the tail of the 10 as a result of that. So it can catch out the very best in the business. Liddell, a former Super 2 Series driver, raced at a very, very high level in Australian motorsport, still doing it in Toyotas and TCR Australia as well. Another very, very good front-wheel drive series, and one you know quite a bit about, Lisa.
A little bit indeed. TCR is a fantastic series. As we see on screen here, the 2 Adam Macro racing cars have swapped positions. It's always been Tabitha leading ahead of Campbell this weekend, but we see the 333 has jumped ahead.
Absolutely. Reasonably similar plain-looking machines, as we see a fierce battle further back between the 38 of Flanagan and Gambold. Flanagan going very defensive down into turn number 10, and that's going to affect the run all the way down this straight now. Flanagan will have to go defensive once more now, because the 40 is in striking range of a potential move up the inside at turn 11. Wise to that one is Flanagan, and holds on this lap. There's still 4 more laps to go of this race. We're at the halfway stage of the final Hyundai Excel Trophy Series race for the weekend. And at the moment, Brad James sitting in the box seat. He's taken 2 of the 3 wins so far. He's hoping to do the same again in this one. Fastest lap of the race last time through, 1:41.732. And that was 4/10 faster than Phillips, who himself set a PB lap last time through, as did Kadich. And in fact, Kadich closed the margin down by 0.3 of a second on that last lap. The margin now down to 1.3 seconds in the fight between the second place driver and the third place driver. So that's steadily closing down. But at that rate, it's not going to quite be enough with 4 laps to go to catch and pass the number 8. But we'll just look out for that battle as the race continues on. Short, sharp sprint races for much of this weekend in all of the categories, but we're going to finish with the 300k Enduro later on this afternoon. Here is the fight between the teammates. It's back on again, Lisa.
It certainly is, and we still have the 333 of Campbell leading the 199 of Tabitha Ambrose. sitting there battling for 6th and 7th place. As we've mentioned, it's been a fantastic recovery from Tabitha, and we'll see her later on this afternoon in the number 1 Hyundai Velociter run by the Wodonga TAFE. And she's teaming up with Brad Gartner as well as they battle for the Winton 300.
Brad Gardner, a familiar name to many people who watch the High-Tech Oil Super Series, I'm sure. A real front runner in the TA2 muscle car series. And in fact, there's quite a few TA2 muscle car drivers that will be competing in the Winton 300. Not only Gardner, but Josh Haynes as well, who's currently leading that series. And Rice as well, who's been a front runner as well in rounds gone by. So 3 real front runners in 3 very different machines. One in a Ford Falcon, one in a Hyundai Veloster, and one in a souped up Nissan Pulsar. So 3 very different machines for those guys, but great to have them a part of the AASA run, Victorian Motor Racing Championship, and the Picture Partners Winton 300. That is just a couple of hours away. That takes place at 2:40 local time, so about 2.5 hours. Is that, Lisa? I'm trying to work out
local time of 1:15 at the moment.
I think that's 2.5 hours.
Yes, good counting. I was going to say, a few of our viewers, they might have seen P plates on the back of the Excels or P plates on the back of other cars. And it's not a road driving plates as such, like when you're 17, 18 getting your P plates. It's your provisional racing license. And once you graduate from that, you have to do a certain number of events, and once you show that you can drive cleanly, you can graduate off your provisional racing license onto your full circuit license.
Yeah, good point made there, Lisa. Oh, Tabitha using all the road on the outside of turn number 2. Not much gap there to the tyre wall on the outside. An hour and a half. I apologise, an hour and a half until the start of the race. I can't believe how quickly it snuck up upon us. We are not too far away now. There's still plenty of action to come. The Australian Drivers' Championship next. Stock cars, that's the NAS cars and the Oz cars, and a couple of TA2 cars as well. They'll be out on track, as well as Super TT. The Excel Masters, the gentlemen and gentle ladies category, they'll be out a little bit later on as well. And then we end with the Winton 300.
We look out to the hills in the background. It has turned out to be a glorious day here at Winton Motor Raceway. And really excited to see all the crowd here locally and everyone who's watching back at home, wherever they are, as we follow the battle between the 2 Atamacro Racing black Hyundai Excels. They stand out with their matte black, simple livery, but it does the job.
This is a fight for 5th position out there on the racetrack at the moment as they go in towards turn number 11. Laps are running out.
As they make their way around the final corner. This is the last lap of the last race for the Hyundai Excel Victorian Series Trophy race. There's 1 round remaining after this one as the championship closes in.
Absolutely, they're both catching up to William Sala at the moment, who's in position number 4, the 36 car. On the last lap, Sala, a 43.32, 42.9 for Campbell, and a 43.1 for Tabitha Ambrose. So both of them comfortably quicker than the car ahead. But is it a little bit too little too late? The last lap of the last race. I think they're just not quite going to be close enough here, unfortunately, and they may end up fighting amongst themselves, because here comes Ambrose up the inside into turn number 7. A late send, a great move up the inside, but unfortunately she doesn't have the momentum out the corner and has to slot back in behind the 333 of Campbell there. But these 2 teammates are fighting. Archie's looking up the inside again at turn number 9, but the door is closed by the 333 driver firmly there. She can't quite make it stick, but great racing between those 2. Clean, fair racing in what is the final lap of this race. Here comes Brad James. Everywhere he goes, no matter where he races in the country, he's always at the pointy end. Didn't win race number 1, but has dominated since then. It's a third race victory of the weekend in the 61 machine and the round victory for Brad James. He beats home Ryan Phillips in position number 2. Kadich comes home in third, and then in the fight for 5th position, it's going to go the way of Campbell ahead of Tabitha Ambrose. Great battle between those two all race long as the cars continue to come across the line. Harrison Salas having a little bit of a look on the tail of Jenna, but Jenna overtaking Sala on the final lap and was able to hold 11th position to the line. A really closely matched field in that one. The top 15 drivers separated by just over 30 seconds, so really close competitive racing in the Excel Trophy Series, not just in that race, but in the weekend as a whole. Here are the results then. Bradley James taking it by 3.1 seconds from Phillips. A further second back was Ashton Kadich in the number 13 machine, which I think may put him on the round podium. William Sala in 4th, Rio Campbell 5th, Tabitha Ambrose in 6th, ahead of Burton, Harewood, Carpenter and Johnson, Jackson Jacks that round out the tail end of the top 10. Beyond that, Jenna Sala, Simpson,